Leni Benyo, Nile Loko, Esiku Dede Asiko. Hello everyone, it's Adironke again. I hope your day is going well. Today, I'd like to talk about the Agogo hairstyle. And you'll find it on the heads of Orisha devotees. Agogo. Agogo. Irrespective of their genders, they might be male, they might be female. You'll find it on the heads of Orisha devotees. There is nothing inherently feminine about it. So you will find it on the heads of men as well. Don't be surprised. I think it is with Europeanization of the culture or Islamization, or there's one more Asian that is a contributing factor to seeing men with hairstyles as an issue, but it's cultural for men to wear braids. Just thought I'd put that out there. This is what the hairstyle looks like. You will see it a lot during the Osun Osogbo festival, one of the most common festivals in Nigeria. Most likely because I think it is believed that Osun is the one who came up with the hairstyle in the first place. And because Osun was a hairdresser during her human incarnation, so people do this hairstyle to honor her, but specific people, which I'll get to. So this is what it looks like. And you can see all the items that the hairstyle is honored with when it is done. And this is the process of making it. Because I'm such a perfectionist, there are hardly any videos that I've made that I'm deep down proud of. I always feel like I should have maybe done that better, or I could have said that better, or I could have spoken faster here, or I could have inserted a picture that would show what I'm explaining there. So there are hardly any videos that I can say, okay, this one I'm really proud of deep down. But there are some that are much worse on the scale, especially the ones that I made years ago at the beginning of my making videos, Yoruba specific videos on this channel. One of them is this one. There are a lot of things that I said, not a lot actually, let me not completely dismiss the piece of work, but there are lots of, did I say lots of again? There are certain things that I said that are not exactly accurate, pronunciation wise and explanation wise. So this hairstyle I refer to as Agogo. It's not Agogo, it's Agogo. It's Agogo, not Agogo. So I made that mistake and I refer to it as the coxcomb. It's not really the coxcomb style. Again, I'm just not proud of it. I'm completely embarrassed by it. There are certain things that I said that I wish I could have pronounced better or more correctly or said better. So please, if you come across this video, just in case you haven't already seen it, please take everything that I said there with a grain of salt. The general quality of the video is poor. I had like a couple of rubbish on my wall. This is the hairstyle. The person in the slide is Iya. If I coin Solakbike, I posted a handle, but I'll also put it in the description. You can follow her on Instagram. It's done by initiates only. That's one major thing to mention, even before we go any further into explaining what it is. I did mention that you find it among the Olorisha, devotees of past ancestors that were really significant in shaping the culture and the spirituality in many ways, whose wisdom we still use in our daily lives in order to build good character, good form, which is an integral part of our incarnations. I was about to say incantation, incarnations. So, even not all Olorisha can make this hairstyle. It's done by the initiates only. If you're not an initiate, you're not supposed to wear it. Now, if you go to a shobo wearing the Agogo and you're not an initiate, like, at the end of the day, nobody really challenges you, like, who are you or anything. Like, nobody's going to kill you. You will not be cooked and eaten or anything, no. But just know that you're not supposed to do it. I suppose you're not, irrespective of how much you love Oshun, how many times she has appeared to you in your dreams, and how much connection you feel to her. Certain things are supposed to be respected. I don't think there's an issue though of like people who are not already initiated making the hairstyle. I don't think that's an issue. Me, I'm not able to wear the hairstyle yet because I'm not an initiate yet. But I don't think there's ever been that issue of non-initiates wearing it in the first place. So yeah. Agogo. Agogo. This was the rubbish that I said. I said coxcomb. It's not coxcomb. Coxcomb is ogbeoriakuko. That red thing. And I also have something red on my head, coincidentally. Ogbe is what it is called. But if you want to be more specific, because it can be a different type of ogbe, ogbeoriakuko. Ogbeoriakuko, that coxcomb. So it's not Agogo. It's not Agogo either. Not that in the video I don't think I said Agogo is, it's not that ridiculous that I would have called Agogo coxcomb, you know. Perhaps that was an effort to describe it. But anyway, Ogbeoriakuko, in case you don't know what coxcomb is called in Yoruba, it's called Ogbe. 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 Ogbeoriakuko. Ogbeoriakuko. Agogo is bell. This is called Aja. Aja Oshun. I think it is called. I better be sure before I say rubbish. But I think that's what it is. Oh, now I'm going to be hyper sensitive about, I'm sorry, about everything I say. Agogo is bell. So it's not Agogo. I think I also told one person that it is Agogo because I was comparing it to the traditional like bell, but it's not. That's the problem with it, misinformation, because I was also misinformed. That's the problem. It's like once you say something wrong, people tend to use that wrong information, and that is how. Now I have to be super not that I've not been in recent years, but now I have to be hyper conscious about everything that I say, because I know, like, I mean, how would I be responsible for over 40,000? Might not even be up to 40,000 people. It might just be the views, but at least 1,000 people. How am I going to be responsible for informing them wrongly? You know, it's not really easy to forgive yourself once you do that. Anyway, so Agogo is bell. So it's neither of these. It's more this. It's more of this. So we have to look at what the word Agogo. This is why it helps to look at what words are in and of themselves, instead of just saying, oh, this is this, or just believing what everybody tells you. And this is why it is critical that I break things down. I know that it makes my videos rather long, much longer, but this is why it is useful, because I won't just enforce an English translation on you and say, this is that. That is that. If I break it down, you'll be able to see what words combine to form that one word. Instead of giving you a sentence and saying that means that, I'm able to show you. Agogo is an adjective. It can also be a noun. It's either a noun or an adjective depending on the context you use it in, and it's giant, either giant or the peak of something, or the height of something. Agogo, that is what it is as an adjective, as a word. Before we transfer it to the hairstyle, let's even consider what it is in and of itself. So of trees, things, and animals, when it's much larger or huger than the rest, you can call it Agogo. Agogo. Sometimes in the context that it fits in its height or peak. You typically would not call humans these though. You typically wouldn't. For a giant that is human, you would say Omiran. For somebody who is a little person, you would say Arara. There were two dialects in my head. Arara. You can also say Rara. I think it is the Ijebu people that say Rara. Maybe not just the Ijebu people. But you can say Arara for humans. For things, trees, and animals, Agogo is the giant form, and Arupe is the dwarf form compared to the rest, compared to the counterparts. Arupe, Arupe, Arupe. But in another dialect, they also say Arupe, Arupe. Arupe is a common form, Arupe, in another dialect. So Agogo, Arupe, or Arupe. Giant. So what this hairstyle is given in a nutshell is tall. Is tall. Notice how the middle is considerably taller than the rest. What this hairstyle means is tall, height. And it's not just that, because that would be rather shallow without going any further. But this is just the obvious thing that you notice about it. There's a side to the hair, the middle, that is considerably taller than the rest of the head. And that is supposed to be a signifier of leadership, responsibility, and pride. Leadership, being in charge, being able to oversee things, being a model person in thoughts, in deed, in character. Responsibility for those around you, having attained a certain level of consciousness, about what is around you, about how the earth works, and pride in yourself, pride in who you are. And it's interesting because you would almost think, did Oshun think that there would be a point in time that it would even matter more for you to be proud of who you are in the world of Christians and Muslims and accepted religions? Did she know that being proud of who you are is critical, of what you believe in is critical? You almost wonder. The hairstyle serves different purposes in practical terms, mainly for identification. So when you wear that hairstyle, that is why it's critical for you not to say, oh, I'm just going to do whatever I want with the culture. I mean, some things, if they are not broken, they don't need to be fixed. Some things should just be retained as they are. as far as tradition is concerned, I don't really think people who are not initiates are supposed to wear it. But for identification anyway, and this ties into it, you don't have to say, oh, I'm an Oshun priestess, or I'm a Shango priest, for you to be identified. So for identification, for beautification, it's a really beautiful hairstyle, especially with the way that it is adorned. It is the adornment that gets me. An Oshun priestess is something else, fully dressed, for the preservation of history and culture. Again, by making the hairstyle, you're not only honoring Oshun the hairdresser, but you're also honoring how things were done in the past. So I suppose that ties into preservation of the culture. Discipline and dignity is really what I want to mention as far as the pride aspect is concerned. Pride is often seen as something bad in certain faiths. Pride is almost always in most of the context that is used in. It's almost like a bad thing. But self-pride, self-dignity is a very important thing. So not only, does it express discipline, the amount of mental, and when done correctly, I know that there are bad eggs here and there, or there might be discipline that has been put into not only learning about the energy, but adopting a good character that aligns with the tradition. Not only does it showcase the discipline that one has gone through to get to this stage, it is also an expression of dignity in who one is. It's an expression of dignity. Discipline cannot really be bought. You can't just buy priestesshood. You can't just buy spiritual growth, irrespective of how you look at it, irrespective. Even when you pay for certain things, a lot of the work still resides within you. And this is going to come off somehow, maybe from a place of I don't know how this would be interpreted. Irrespective of the number of initiations that you do and the number of celebrations that are done for you and for your Ori, a lot of the work is still very internal. So for those who have disciplined themselves to get to a point where they're able to understand, for the Olosho, for instance, healing, they're conscious of their words, they are feel responsible for the people around them. They are very aware of human suffering. They've just reached a point in their lives. For people who have gone to that stage and are proud of the dignity that it comes with, this is a very beautiful hairstyle. I'm talking too much. Let me just go to the accessories. Parrot feathers is one that you will find. Ikodi dere, or ikode if you shrink it. The red feathers. The beads. Some put beads in theirs as accessories. You find cowries. You find brass or golden hair sticks. You will find cuffs and rings and pins and coils. Sometimes you will find gold dust or like yellow dust to give it a little razzle dazzle. I imposed this on Yèyé's head, but you may find these as well, depending on how you want to decorate yours. I'm going to insert the one of the pictures so you can see. So this is a brass hair stick. You see, this is the ikodi dere. You typically find it towards the bottom of the parrot, the red spots. There's a saying around it. I'll reserve it for when I make a video on this. There are beads. Typically find beads. I don't know if this person is wearing the hairstyle, but beads, cowries, and what other things did I mention? So it's gorgeous, isn't it? I mean, just look at it. The hairdressers or stylists that make the style are often given gifts of kola nuts and palm wine or schnapps or other related alcoholic drinks, cocks or hens, cash, which in recent centuries would have been cowries. But even before cowries were used as a form of exchange, we had forms of exchange. So kola nuts and palm wine or schnapps, now that they're available, other kinds of distilled drinks also work, jeans, cocks or ends, etc. That was what was done in the past. When Oshun made this hairstyle, those were forms of exchange. So you give her kola nuts and you would give her palm wine, and you'd give her brass items in exchange, in appreciation for her work, So I think there's not much to it. There's just like a historical thing about it, the kola nuts and the palm wine. You expected to, if you don't have access to all these things, however, you don't have hands around you with you that are yours to give the hairdresser, then you can give them cash. The cash separately if you want, and then you can give them cash for them to buy those items themselves. That also works. There's not a lot of rigidity about, it has to be 10 kola nuts, 15 cocks or hens or anything, but because that was the form of exchange back in the day, is why many things are historical. Many things are not too cryptic to understand once you understand the historical aspects of them. Many things are not, can you explain that? They were just how things were done back in the day, because that was what was available as a form of exchange. And that is why even till now, priestesses and priests still give the hairdressers these items, irrespective of the fact that there is now cash available. They would give them cash, but they would also give them these things, or give them either cash for them to get it themselves, or give them these things. But it's always advisable to put cash. As far as the time frame for wearing the hairstyle is concerned, it is during ceremonies and festivals. Ceremonies/festivals, they seem to be one and the same, and other special events, specific special events. So you're not really supposed to wear it indiscriminately. The reason this hairstyle may stay on the head of a priestess or priest for like up to a month is because right after, festivals tend to come right after each other quite often. So you might have the Badon festival now, and right after you have the Oshun festival, and right after you have the Shango festival. Even the last Oshun festival, the one that was done August last year, I think right after, probably like 3 or 4 days after, A lot of the people who were at that festival were also at the Shango festival at Oyo. So they literally had to go from Oshogbo. It's not that far. If you have a good car, it's not too bad. It's not that bad. It's just a couple of hours. And Nigeria is not like that big. You know, it's a distance, but it's not that bad. It is traffic that makes journeys much longer. You know, once the roads are good and clear, you're fine. So people who went to the Oshogbo festival literally had to dash down to Oyo for the Shango festival. So because festivals tend to come right after one another, don't be surprised if you see an initiate wearing the hairstyle for like up to a month, but you're not supposed to wear it forever. Like, you're supposed to take it off, not take it off, loosen it, take the threads down. You know, it's reserved for special events. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I might be forgetting, but I don't think so. No need to make the video much longer than it needs to be. If you have any, this is the part. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If I don't know the answer, now I'm nervous. But if I don't know the answer, I have a lot of people within my community that are priestesses, that are based in Oshogbo, that I can ask. Yeah, I can ask. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would help. That would help with the visibility of the video. And that may help somebody else. And that may help correct the rubbish that I said in 2015. If you would like to join my Patreon, where I teach daily, please consider joining. If you'd like to join my YouTube channel, the link is in the description. And there's also a join button. If you're watching from your desktop, please consider joining as well. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And thank you so much for your support, for the people who support me in many ways. Even if you're not a patron or a YouTube member, for liking, for commenting, it really helps. And I'm really grateful for it. And I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.